thanks for being here. You saw the graphic and you know why we're here. We are discussing Spider-Man Noir. It was just released on Amazon Prime of all places, which I thought was interesting because I think technically it's still like a Sony production. Is that right? Did you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, so I guess they collaborated with Amazon Prime to get more eyes on it because I want to say originally it was released on like their like own streaming service situation, but then like nobody watched it. So it got
Wait, Sony has a streaming situation?
That's so news to me.
Yeah,
Really?
it was like in collaboration with don't give me the line. It was like MGM Paramount or something. It was on some other streaming service that nobody literally has. And
Okay.
And to be honest, clearly never heard of because like me and Vic are literally like, wait, that was a thing?
yeah,
Like, how long ago?
It makes sense for Sony to have something, they've done a lot of stuff, but I ain't never.
It was released like not that long before it was put on Amazon, so it was like relatively recently. But yeah, we all watched it. First episode, they did drop it as a binge. So if you know a little bit of the spoilers, hold them to yourself because we're just talking about episode 1.
That's right.
But
sure, a bunch of people jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah. So guys, what did you think of this first episode here of Spider-Noir?
Well, at first I felt like I was watching National Treasure.
Wait, first question, before we begin that, did you guys watch it in black and white or in color? I watched it in color. Call me uncultured if you like. I put it in color. What about you guys?
A little bit of both, honestly. I
What
did it the first time in black and white, and then I got curious and wanted to see it in color. I kind of like appreciated it more in color.
Oh, okay.
I did. I mean, it felt different, but I think because I saw it in black and white first, I just appreciated it in color. I don't know what would have happened if I did the reverse, but yeah, I think that's what it is. But it was certainly entertaining, regardless of whatever, with that. But I thought that was a nice touch where you could just press a button and change how you see it.
Okay, but which one did you prefer? You said you preferred the color over the black and white?
Yeah, because there's just a lot more detail to that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it reminded me of the days when like we stopped watching black and white TVs, and we started watching color. Like,
You're not that old.
You just appreciate the color. I mean, like I was 5 and 6.
What, in the 1930s? Like, what are you talking about?
Right, exactly.
What are you talking about? Like, it was the 80s where people were like going from black and white TV.
Really?
Where? Oh, in
really?
Not in New York.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, because there was poverty in New York. It wasn't everybody like rich people
as long
TVs. I was having a big screen was like $1,500. Like, come on now. This stuff was expensive.
I will sit here and say, as long as and I've been in New York for a long time, I've never once watched TV in black and white, unless I was watching an older movie, of course. Nonetheless,
this is some
no, because Vic. I mean, when Vic, I really want to look at your birth certificate because how old are you, man?
Well, I will say, I think my childhood memories are like non-existent. I have the worst memory when it comes to my child, but I want to say I have seen a black and white TV, but it was like an outside TV they should put outside while you're grilling. One of those TVs back in the day.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that would be a black, but not like
the little black.
Like you didn't own one.
No.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. Jack, did you watch in black and white and color? And if you did both, which did you prefer?
I did do it in both. I watched it early in the morning yesterday, so I watched it in black and white, and I downloaded it on my phone because I wanted to watch it on the go. But they only allowed it in color, so I did watch it in color, and it just didn't feel right. I mean, this show takes place in the 1930s, and I feel like it should have been watched in black and white. And as somebody who watches sometimes silent movies, or I just said to pull the curtain back a little bit, I watch The Honeymooners every now and then. It's in black and white. I would never want to see it in color because it just don't feel right to me. So when it comes to a preference, I prefer watching this in black and white. And as I'm watching, and I'm not going to say much, but I'm episode 4, and it just feels right watching it in black and white, even with the acting and the way that they act. And when they say things and they're like, look, I'm going to tell you something right here. I don't want to watch that in color. It don't feel right.
I want to wanted to talk about the
I hear you.
acting of it all as well, because for me, I thought that they could have came a little harder in the first episode, at least, at the very least. I don't know if they, it changes in later episodes, but I feel like, Nicolas Cage wasn't really doing the, that accent was called the Mid-Atlantic accent. Am I remembering that right? I might be misremembering. Or what's that guy? What you said?
It just felt Nicolas Cage. It didn't feel like
I just heard Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's all it felt like. It was like I said in the beginning. It was fun. It was like watching a National Treasure movie.
Yes. Just him older, and it's funny because my fiance was like, "Why did they pick Nicolas Cage? He's so old to be Spider-Man."
That's a smart man. Tell him thank you, because I felt the same way.
You know why I think they picked him? Just because of the connection that he had with the Spider-Verse. That's the only reason I think that's why they picked him.
But isn't he Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider, Superman. He was in what was that movie? Kick-Ass. I forgot what his, you remember he was like the Batman looking character.
Okay.
I just forgot what his name was. My point is, Nicolas Cage is going to play a superhero.
Yeah, he loves those. He loves those superheroes. But what do you mean his connection to Spider-Verse? Was he did he voice
he voiced Spider-Noir. Yeah. So that's my only guess on why they had him, because Nicolas Cage is an older actor. I don't mind an older Spider-Man. It don't bother me so much, but I can understand when people say, well, why Nicolas Cage, especially when you think about Spider-Man, right? And you think about the Spider-Man character, and he's witty, he's always talkative, and no one thinks that about Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, and he has such agility because he's Spider-Man. You would think that, but let me not.
You know what though?
Ages.
One thing I noticed though,
you are ages.
But it's easy to get ages because this is the
because what?
This is just a different version. Like look, the first time we've ever seen, in my opinion, a middle-aged Spider-Man was like
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
Tobey in the movie, and then like we saw it again in the animated joint of Miles Morales, where we saw that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We're not used to that. Like we're not used to Spider-Man being old like that. And this guy is like jaded to the business.
Yeah.
And he's just looking like he's like 47, about to be 50. He looks older. Like he's looking.
Wait. 47 is generous. 47 is generous. I had to Google Nicolas Cage's age in real life, and he's like 62 years old.
He's 62.
No, no. I mean, I'm not saying him in life. I mean, like in this show. You know what I mean? Like he looks no, the character is playing there looks like he's in his like late 40s, early 50s.
In this show, you feel like he's given 40s.
Yes.
Nicolas Cage.
Because he's super jaded. He's like, he lost his wife. It's been 5 years. He's not trying to act like a Spider-Man anymore.
Okay.
And he's going through this whole crap where like it ruined his life and he's hiding from it. And people are just like, yo, come back. What's wrong with you? And, like he looked like he's been in the business for 20 years and he's jaded to it. Like,
Okay.
I mean, that's the impression that I'm getting. And I'm just saying that because we've never really gotten a Spider-Man like that before. It was always somebody young and ambitious and full of life and just looking forward. But this guy's just like, he's just got this tired energy. If that makes sense. I know I'm rambling. Let me shut up. But
listen, I totally understand when you said he has that tired energy. I feel like that's me all the time. So I totally hear what you're saying. Yeah,
exactly. You're young compared to him.
Oh, I mean, I think we're all young compared to him. To be quite honest, I mean, you really didn't. You set the bar pretty low there, my friend.
Yeah, he's 62. Just to reiterate.
I think to piggyback a little bit on what the vibrating one said down there, I do think that Katie did it, but just to piggyback a little bit on what you were saying, I do agree with that. I think a lot of us are just not accustomed to having a much older Spider-Man, and like how you pointed out, I feel like we kind of got that a little bit in some sense of media. Where he's kind of tired of playing the hero, and something happened where he semi retires or he temporarily retires. And And I mean, I know we're going to get more into this episode and stuff like that, but I honestly enjoyed this take because it was just so different. It was such a different take where, I know I have a Spider-Man that I'm used to. I'm used to Spider-Man, like I said, very agile. But we have a Spider-Man who gets tired by walking up a flight of stairs. That's new. Spider-Man who, his costume is totally different, and also Private Eye Spider-Man, which I'm kind of digging a little bit. I'm digging a little bit.
I like that too. I do like the costume. I will say I do like the different take and tone of the show. It's definitely original. As far as like Superman or sorry, superhero kind of content is concerned. But yeah, it's like I didn't feel like I felt like they could have went a little harder with the accents, all of the actors. But we did have quite a few familiar faces. Of course, there's Nicolas Cage. We have the gentleman who played Robbie Robertson. He was in New Girl, like he's most known for his role in New Girl. We had Winston, that young guy. I remember when he was a young man, and I forget what he was in. But he was in a whole bunch of stuff with the black hair, the one who was working for the big boss guy who hired the two separate PIs.
You took I'm trying because I honestly put up the you said who because I put up
his name was Winston.
I'm trying.
And we got what's his name? The Sandman.
Yeah.
From what's that show?
His name is Jack Hudson.
Watch every episode. The Mayfair Witches. If you watch the Mayfair Witches, the actor.
Yeah. That's it.
He's in this show as the Sandman. So
check him out. No, I just had to Google. I wasn't familiar with him. I just when we heard a lot of these characters' names and stuff like that, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's who that's supposed to be from this timeline and stuff like that. But this guy apparently he done some other things. I was familiar with Robbie. Like I've seen him in a few things. I didn't watch. You said New Girl, right?
Yeah, New Girl. He was in like the later seasons of New Girl after what's his name? That Wayne's brother left. They said they had to have at least one black man, and he was the one.
That's hilarious.
So you know what I got familiar with?
Sahara, thanks for being here. Check out their channel.
I watched a few episodes of this. I don't even know how I watched this because y'all know I'm selective on what I watch and stuff like that.
Well, it's good though. It got me hooked already, ready to watch the second episode. Because I was saying before, I like the Private Eye part of this the same way that I like the lawyer part of Daredevil.
There you go.
So I'm very interested to see him, like, what he does. It's very Dick Tracy, if y'all get that reference.
Yeah, I've heard of Dick Tracy. I watch Looney Tunes. I didn't watch the show, but I watched Looney Tunes, and they said Dick Tracy a lot on those shows. But I was going to say the actor, I was familiar with him because he did a show called Woke. I think it was on Hulu, and he did. There was a few seasons, so that's when I saw him. I said, "Oh, I've seen this guy before." So it was a good pickup. I thought he did a pretty solid job as playing Robbie.
Okay, well, I'm going to be the odd man out on the panel tonight because I was not roped in, guys. Like by the end of the episode, I was just like, I could care less, honestly, what happens to any of these characters, except for maybe Janet. Janet, the assistant, I really liked her, but there was nothing that happened that made me feel like, oh, I gotta watch the next episode. Like nothing. And I don't want to be like, super negative because there were aspects of the show that I liked. Like I said, I do like the concept and the setting and things like that. And I do like the marketing of it. Like, oh, you can watch it in black and white or in color. And thought that was cool. But nothing in the story really hooked me. And Nicolas Cage, I don't know, at least in episode 1, again, because I only watched episode 1. I don't know if I liked him as Spider-Man. He just didn't seem, he didn't hook me personally.
Right. But I think they could have just used a random actor. Some random young white guy that's just a brand new actor. And, just have him flying around and be, bad and whatever. Right. But clearly they want to use him for name recognition. But and the other thing, like, look, if they're going in this direction of Jade, then it's not necessarily a bad thing. Because even at the end, he was just like, they flipped, and this is what brings me in. Like, they kind of flipped the story of with great power comes great responsibility. And
Yeah, with no power.
With no power comes no responsibility.
That was
And
cool.
they just paint him as being this coward the whole time. So that's and it's such a big difference from like regular Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's kind of what brings me it. But then at the same time, I'm a fan of Spider-Man.
We got Slice of Heart in the comments she says, okay, I started it and could not focus on it. I'm gonna try again. Yeah, it was I had to like really like lock in. I was like, look, I'm determined
but like, have you ever been a fan of Spider-Man like that?
Honestly, Spider-Man's never been my favorite.
Yeah.
But I'm here for a good superhero retelling. And you know what? Also, what I found interesting, or would like some clarification on. I thought this was like an Elseworld kind of thing, almost. Or I know it's not called Elseworld, I don't think, but we have this alternate Spider-Man in this 1930s setting in the during the Great Depression, which you would think would be in our world, but there seems to be a lot of like multicultural, mixing of races, and that was not the case in our real world. So I was wondering, is this like an alternate?
I'm glad that you said that, because when I was watching, I said, "Hey, is that black man walking freely?" like, and no one's gonna know. There was a few times where I did sit here and say, "I'm pretty sure that's not how things were." I mean, I wasn't there personally.
Yeah, that wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, because she was the singer at a jazz club talking about Cat. What was it? It was Cat Hardy, and I was like, I don't know. I mean, I've seen enough stuff. I mean, I've watched a silent movie just recently, and I even joked with my lady, and I said, there's no one black in here. Literally, there was no. The only thing black was the screen.
Exactly, and the shadows. But they have black folks, Asian folks, everybody, Spanish folks. So that's
what I will say. I'm not going to spoil nothing here, but there is a spot in one of the episodes where when Robbie's walking, there is something that says whites only. So it's almost like they do realize, like, 1930s, and I kind of forget because they keep saying 1930s, but right, like how you mentioned the Great Depression and how there was such thing as segregation and all that stuff. Yeah. It kind of went over my head until you mentioned it, and also two in one of the episodes. But like I said, I don't want to say too much, but they do kind of touch on that. Just
okay.
Yeah, they try to avoid Jim Crow. I get that.
Look, Slice of Horror even says the black man walking free. Yeah, absolutely. Because even then I said, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure if I was around in the 1930s, I would have immediately been on the ground, stomped out, 12 feet.
So, but clearly it's in some sort of alternate world. But one thing I did find kind of interesting, and we didn't get too much clarity on it, was the death of his fiance. I wasn't quite sure how she died. Like, we did see like her like in a car underwater, but we saw an image of Black Noir in the rear view mirror. So he was there. So how come he didn't save her? Is that answered? Spoiler alert, I guess.
From what it looks like to me, it looks like somebody caught on to who he was, and then found his vulnerable spot, which was his girl, and then set her up to get killed.
Yeah.
And now, at least this is what I think. Now that's why he's afraid to wear the mask, or afraid to just jump back in, because he couldn't save her. Because clearly they were in the lake or something. Why couldn't
he save her? He was literally in the rearview mirror. You see him in the rearview mirror, and she's still looking back at him. So I would feel as if there's enough time to shoot out a web thrower and you pull back.
I don't think the web would have been able. I mean, even though 1930s and stuff like that, I think if we were talking about a more Spider-Man of in our timeline and stuff like that, maybe, but 1930s and the science, and look, I get it. Even still, you could even still say, but he still has.
No, he has a web shooter. We see him.
I think, is it a web shooter or is it organic? I thought that was organic. It looked like he doesn't even wear anything like that.
Well, okay. When I say web shooter, I mean he has webs. He has webbing ability. So how come he didn't use that webbing ability when he's literally looking at his fiance drown in the water? Like that.
See, you ask all these heavy questions. Plot.
Wait,
God damn it, plot.
Yeah, it was in the episode, and I'm thinking like, okay, was he knocked out or something? Did he lose consciousness? Ran out of breath?
He might have ran out of breath. I mean, this is an older Spider-Man. He probably sat here and said, like, "Hey, I'll see you in upper room." I don't know. I don't know what to tell you here. Want to see the superior? But mind you, I do want to sit here and say real quick though, because I watch old school Looney Tunes and stuff like that. But in the 1930s, I mean, if they were gonna get rid of you, that's how they were gonna get rid of you. Tie you to the car and throw you in the water. I don't know why that was. I don't know why that was their thing.
It's called swimming with the
Yeah,
fish.
you're going. Well, I mean, that would never work for me because I can't swim. So I guess that means you're just going to drown me. So, oh, well.
That's what it meant. It worked perfectly. That's exactly what they're saying.
Can spiders?
But yeah, that was the episode, guys. If you like the video, please like the video and let us know your thoughts on Spider-Noir. Please subscribe to our channels and we will see you very soon. See ya. Goodbye.